بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله أوله بلا أول كان قبل وآخره بلا آخر يكون بعده الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وأجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب الله رب العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد صلى على محمد وعليه الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين سيما بقية الله العظم بقية الله خير لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين ولعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى في محكم الكتاب المجيد: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the continuation of the discussion of the phenomena of truthfulness, or the quality of truthfulness, which happened to be the first character trait discussed by the author, which is Sheikh Shumali, the book that we are following, right after purification, after tazkiyah. This points out to the importance of this character, of this reality, how important truthfulness is. That's why it seems that he has brought this as the first quality right after tazkiyah. Obviously there are other character traits as well, such as humility, such as sabr and others. So he apparently have chosen this one. And if you pay attention to, there's another verse, I was just reflecting upon that, and that is also quite interesting, and that is وَمَنْ يُؤْتِيَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ. This is in chapter number 4, verse number 69. The author have brought this later on and he discusses it. But I just wanted to emphasize the importance of truthfulness. As it says that وَمَنْ يُطِيَ اللَّهِ, those whosoever does ita'at to Rasul, فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. They are someone upon whom أنعم Allah, أنعمت عليهم, right? أنعم Allah. There's some sort of bounties and blessings upon them. Who are they? مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ. They are the Anbiya. And then right after that, the quality is was-siddiqeen. The quality of truthfulness is discussed. And then you have was-shuhada was-salihin. So once again, it is quite important to really expand the potential of our truthful nature that has been given to us by God. To expand, to bring out that potentiality of truthfulness that we all have. Because insan by nature is truthful. By nature is truthful. And that very first breath that he takes points out to that he is faqir, that he is in need. Right? That when that child is born, the first thing that child does is that he cries. He cries out, and which crying out indicates or manifests the reality of that insan, which is that he is in need. So insan, absolute faqr. Ya ayyuhal insan, as they say, antumul fuqara. O people, ya ayyuhal nas or ya ayyuhal insan, Antumul fuqara, you are faqir. Inna Allah ghaniul hamid. But Allah is the one who is ghani and hamid. The essential reality of insan is faqr. And he points that out when he is born. Because that is the true nature of insan. The reflection of true nature of insan is at 2 points. To its highest level. One is at the time when he is born, that first breath, and one is at the time when he's taking that last breath. These are the two pure reflection of who insan is. That when he is born and also when he is dying. Where he does nothing but reflect that he is faqir. So his true essential nature is in need. is faqr. Faqr wujudi. The way insan is faqir is the same way as the oddness for number 3. 3 is an odd number? Yes. The oddness of that number 3 being odd is in its essential nature. You cannot say that it is 3 and it is not odd. So the same way, you cannot say that it is insan and he is not faqir. He is faqir. So therefore, this quality of truthfulness that is within our nature requires that we, through our practices, through our reflection, through our manifestation of this reality, that we become truthful. Sajdah, our prayers, our fasting, going to Hajj and shaving our head. These are all reflecting that we are faqir. And Lord is our master. He is all powerful. So this whole journey of insan, Ya ayyuhal insan innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadhan famulaqi. This whole journey is a journey of truthfulness, that he should reach to that maximum capacity that he has in this dunya, that he is truthful. Then if he does that, then that last breath of his will be truthful as well, where he enters barzakh, and then he obviously continues towards the kamal and perfection in barzakh as well, where he travels in barzakh and when he's raised from the grave and so on and so forth. Now, as we, alhamdulillah, it's quite important that we stick to the text and try to really have a structure to our discussions. Otherwise we'll be going all over the place. So now we discuss in the first session about the reality of truthfulness. And usually the way I discuss things is I try to, while discussing the subject, I also try to give the principle of things, where you yourself, when you are examining an Islamic text or a verse of the Quran, you yourself with your aql, try to build on it. Okay. Sadiq, truthfulness. Who is the greatest Sadiq? Allah. Yeah, we said Prophet, we said Awliya and all. But in reality it's God. He is the Sadiq. Because he himself has said in the Quran, right? That, my hadith is the sidq, is the true hadith. Allah is Sadiq. So as Allah is Sadiq, Allah wants us to be Sadiq as well. So when we look at these riwayat or traditions or ayat, where we find and where the Prophet is promoting us to do that, you would find that the ultimate would be God. Patience is very good. But who is Sabir? Who is the greatest Sabir? It is God who is Sabir, right? Look at the level of Sabr of God, where Hussein is slain that way, but God did Sabr. The Sabr of God, sometimes things happen to us, right? And we try to do something in order that we contain ourselves. So in order that we don't lose our patience. Something bad happened, either we do dua, astaghfar, or, we try to do or drink, or eat. Usually when the stress level goes high, people tend to eat. We do something to get rid of this, so that we don't act in a way that is not befitting us, right? So we should act in a way that befits. So personally, this is something that, I think that God, when he sees Hussein in that state, then you have in the riwayat, where in the ayat of the Quran, that how the soul of insan is taken away. There's a verse in the Quran which says that the malaika comes and takes the soul. There's a verse which says a malak comes and takes the soul of an insan. And then there's a verse with Allah yatawaffa. Allah takes the soul away. Now, I always comment that one should also reflect upon the Masaib aspect of Maqtal and of what happened to Imam Zainul Abidin and what he said and what he spoke after. When Imam Zainul Abidin was in the courtyard of Ibn Ziyad says that, how we killed your brother, right? And then Imam Zainul Abidin did tamassuk, used a verse to respond to him. He says, Allahu yatawaffa. Allah is the one who takes the soul when a person dies. Imam Zainul Abidin could have mentioned Malaika. Imam Zainul Abidin could have mentioned Malak. But he says Allah. So this points out to that the sabri nature of God, that He Himself came to take the soul of Hussein. Because God came. Now obviously, it's not that physicality. Obviously, we all are aware of this, right? Because to understand the latafat, the subtle beauty of Quran, the subtle beauty of Ahl Bayt, of riwayat of Ahl Bayt alayhimu salam, have to have that substance, that wilayat and that understanding, that expansion of the heart. And alhamdulillah, there is something that, God have favored us with that. So it is very easy for us to not to mix up that if we do tawassul, it's not shirk. But for many people, what's going on? So they cannot comprehend, they cannot digest that. But for a follower of Ahl Bayt alayhimu salam, it's very simple, and he understands it, very beautifully, these concepts and these realities. This is a great blessing. Anyways, so now the principle or the structure which we could build on is that God is Sadiq, and He wants us to be Sadiq as well. All of the good character traits that are there, if we examine, if we look at it, the essential reality of that would eventually end up with God. And He wants us to be that. In our practice, when I am speaking the truth, I am becoming God-like, because God speaks the truth. And as a matter of fact, God is the one who first recognizes me speaking of the truth. There's a riwayat from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. He says that اولین کسی که انسان را راستگو را تصدیق می کند خداوند عزوجل هست. Apparently this author have brought in Farsi. This riwayat is from Biharul Anwar. He says اولین کسی, the first is the one who انسان را, human being را راستگو را تصدیق می کند. The first one who accepts that the man is speaking the truth is God. Because God knows what haqq is, what true, what truthfulness is, what true is. God knows. So He will be the first one to say, yes, this person has spoken the truth. We don't need anybody to praise us. Because sometimes, we would like to be praised. Sometimes we would like to not express the truth because we want some sort of reward, so to speak, right? I lost my phone, I misplaced my keys. Anybody there who will tell me from my children, well, I will give you £5 if you tell me. I will give you 5 minutes extra on the Xbox. The son will run and say, okay, here you go, right? So there's some sort of reward. But here, what could be more greater than God? He Himself is saying, I will recognize you, that you are speaking the truth. Don't worry about others. I am the one who will recognize you, right? So therefore, speaking the truth, it's something that is very much emphasized, the first quality discussed, and so important that if you look at, the author brings in a verse which we discuss, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah wa qulu qawlan sadida. O people who have taqwa, speak the truth as well. So there is a possibility that there could be a person who is muttaqi, but he might fall short of speaking the truth. That's why God is saying, Ittaqullah, be God very God conscious. And at the same time, speak the truth. Right? Just like how in Surah Hujurat, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, the Surah Hujurat is one of the chapter that deals with moral character traits. And there's a tafsir of Surah Hujurat, which IEB have translated. I think Aghay Salim Bimji is the translator of that. Aghay is the tafsir of Aghay Makarim Shirazi, I think. So it's a good reference if you can, have that and read that as well. In this you would see all of the verses about Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. It's all referred to the mu'minin, not Muslimin. But at the same time saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, do not make fun of each other. Do not call names to each other. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, do not backbite. So, Baba, you are addressing to those who are mu'minin, but why are you saying? Do not, obviously mu'min is the one who will not backbite. But still you are saying, do not do so. So the same way here, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqul, be God wary, God conscious, but at the same time, speak the truth, right? In this verse here. Then you have another verse which the author points out to Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqin, which I will discuss that a little bit later on. After pointing out to the importance of speaking the truth, as we said, it's not only in relationship to myself that I should be truthful, and God, sometimes I'm by myself, but I sometimes fool myself. I am not truthful to myself, right? Sometimes I might take a task which I'm not supposed to do so, right? I'm not truthful in my speech, but I still, because it's the norm or the habit I indulge in, right? Remind me of a story. Bahauddini, Bahauddini was a great arif. In a contemporary period, he recently died about, 15, maybe 20 years ago, right? When we were studying in Qom, it was one of the famous personalities whose prayers was very famous, just like Ayatollah Bahjat. However, he died before Aghay Bahjat. May Allah bless his soul, both of their soul. Aghay Bahauddini was one of those who have that third eye, so to speak, who could see, who could tell the future. All of these stories that we hear is Aghay Bahauddini. There's a taxi driver rushing to reach his Jamaat prayer. He comes and he prays behind him, and he went to shake hands. He said, go apologize that person who spill water, because you were rushing to come to my masjid, you spill water, there was a person walking by, as you rushed, you upset him, so you go apologize him and then I will shake hands with you. So basically, just to give you the background of Aghay Bahauddini. Aghay Bahauddini was the roommate of Imam Khomeini. Aghay Najafi, he directly told me that Aghay Bahauddini has mentioned this to him. Aghay Bahauddini and Aghay Imam was roommates, right? When they were young and studying in Qom. And as you all know, there's Masjid Jamkaran, where you go and pray, Namaz Imam Zaman, right? So here both of them went, right, together to perform this ibadat. And they started praying 100 times, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. In that Imam Zaman prayer, we are supposed to recite. In the middle of the prayer, Aghay Bahauddini says that I saw, Ruhullah leaving the masjid. He didn't finish the prayer, he left the masjid. Then after I finished my, rituals, ibadat and all that, I went back to the hujra, to the room. I asked him that, Ruhullah, what happened? You left all of a sudden. I thought your wazu broke or something, perhaps you will come back, you never return. Then he said, I could lie once, I could lie twice. You want me to lie 100 times in the first rakat and 100 times in the second rakat? Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Right? So that truthfulness needs to be there. When we say Iyaka na'bud wa iyaka nasta'in, it should be that. Right? So one have to make sure that one reaches to that level. Right? That truthfulness in that qawl, in those actions as well. Right? So here, this truthfulness, when we are saying, it begins with that zaban. One have to really, as there were questions, is it really something has to do with iman? It is inside that truthful, our nature needs to be truthful in order that we speak, or is it no, we have to speak and then transfer that in us. I had mentioned that like many concepts, it goes hand in hand. However, when we look at the practicality of it, you would agree with me that it begins with the zaban. Like for example, hand in hand in the sense that you have وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ وَيُزَكِّهِمْ. You have the taskiyah and you have the ilm. You have to have the taskiyah and at the same time ilm. You have to have the ilm at the same time taskiyah. So it is something that goes hand in hand as well. But in terms of the truthfulness, I found a hadith which mentions from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, which comes from Amirul Mu'mineen, from Ali ibn Abi Talib. He says, Iman bande istiqamat nemiyabat. The iman of bande, the iman of a person will not be istiqamat, will not be sort of steadfast. Magar in ke qalbish istiqamat varzat, unless his heart have that, steadfastness. His iman will not have steadfastness unless his heart have that steadfastness. Wa qalbu istiqamat nemiyabat. His qalb will not have that steadfastness. Magar in ke zabanish istiqamat yabat, till his tongue. Because you may notice that when a child, or ourselves as well, when we are in some trouble or something, somebody have caught us and asking us to speak the truth, and we see that there could be some sort of loss of property, of jaan, of mal or something, we start to, it's very difficult to speak. There's no strength. But once we say that, yes, then our heart becomes yes. Then our iman becomes as well. So the similarity you could see, for example, these, we hear these terrorists, these Daesh and ISIS and these people catching some of the Zawar and Shias and whatnot. They are in their hand, but they ask you, are you a Shia, for example, or you, whatever, then it's very difficult for them. They know that if they say that, something will happen. Now they should do taqiyya, they should not do taqiyya. I mean, those are different things. But I'm trying to give you an example that it's very difficult to speak the truth sometimes. But once a person does that, he feels so relief in his heart. His heart gets that strength. Once he gets that strength, his iman becomes stronger as well. Then he will always, speak the truth. Then he will be always, will be fine. Sometimes you could see this happening, these peer pressure are in this, universities when our youth, they first go there, and there's a lot of different faiths there. It's difficult to really speak out because of the phobia, Islamophobia or Shia phobia or whatever. But once you said that, yes, then you find that there's some sort of energy in your heart and that iman. So it's quite important to speak the truth. Speaking. That's why it says, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ and تَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Tawasaw. One have to really aid and help and have that. So that is obviously initially is with that zaban. One should manifest that out. And this has to be transferred and become our flesh and blood. That is why, perhaps this could be the reason. The shahada is very important. When somebody converts, well, he has converted in his heart, no doubt. He accepts, philosophically speaking, he accepts. There's one God, he knows, he's knowledgeable. But they say, you have to do the shahada. You have to pronounce it. Pronouncing is very important. So he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, right? That pronouncing is very important. So there is some relationship with the speech, with the speaking, and with the heart, right? So that speaking will affect our heart. And although, like I said earlier, insan is born with that truthful nature. Eventually, the same way, every human being is born a Muslim, as the hadith of the Prophet says, right? And later on, because of the influencing factor, oh my God, the same thing happened again. That watch is always 10 minutes to 9. I just love to see that. It's 10 minutes to 9, good. That's the time we start our lessons. But it's actually 9:25, so I need to stop. So, it's in the nature of man. He's born a Muslim, but it is the influences of the society and the parents is the same. So we are born truthful. That birth itself, if you look at it like we said, analyze the concept, then it's been influenced. But, that's why, somebody comes to our house, they say, my Baba is saying he's not home. That's what the child answers. I mean, he's truthful, he doesn't know. It's so complex. Lying is so complex that he can't figure it out. What does that really mean? You're here and you're saying you're not here. It doesn't make sense, right? So that is in the nature of insan. So as we grow, because of ego, because of our things that we want to, hold on to, somehow we want to make it. With us, we start lying. We start kind of misrepresenting things. So it's quite important. Now, still we haven't really, kunu ma sadiqin is important. To be with the group who are sadiqin, who are the truthful. I could be truthful, I could be muttaqi, I could live in a desert. But, what good is that? Quran and the Ahl Bayt have pushed and have asked them to gather together. Karbala was that. It was a group of Sadiqeen together. Although it was a mission of Imam Hussein, but Imam Hussein invited each and every one who are truthful. And that's why it made that impact. وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ is that. Imam Hussein was muttaqi, yes. Habib ibn Mazahir, all of them were, right? But to be in a group of Sadiqeen is important, So we have to make sure that we, as a responsibility, join, be as a group, communities, centers, masajid, be in a community of Sadiqeen. That helps us as well. That aids us as well. This iman, this truthfulness expands and extends and help each other. Ta'awun al-birr, as they say, right? Taqwa. And if you look at the unique aspect of Karbala, and I will end with that, is here Imam Hussein going and inviting, those who are truthful, they join Imam Hussein. Now at the same time, Imam Hussein turning the light off, saying, go away. So, but they are truthful and they know what it means to be with the Sadiqeen. So if they are truthful, they will never go. Imam Hussein did his part, invited everybody, come and join me. You have, like, for example, you have this Abdullah or Ubaidullah ibn Hurajufi. He goes to the tent of him and he says, I did not leave Kufa that I just don't want to see you, but you came to my tent, because he does not want to face the Imam, because if he knows the responsibility will come. So I left Kufa because I didn't want to see you. But he himself came, Imam Hussein himself came. And he says, you can take my sword, you can take my horse. And I say, I don't want horse or sword. I want Sadiq. I want that truthful soul, right? And then he says, I'm sorry. Then Imam Hussein says that go somewhere where you cannot hear my voice. Do not be near. Then it will be problematic for you, right? So Imam Hussein invited them who were Sadiqeen, and they came. And Imam Hussein said, go away. So as they were really truthful, that's why they stayed. They said, if they kill us 70 times, burn our ashes, throw everywhere, we are born again, we will be with you. That is Sadiq. That is Siddiq. Inshallah we'll deal a little bit more. I'm really sorry that we did, a bit extended this concept of truthfulness to our 2 sessions, inshallah. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alayhi tahiri. Yes, Bismillah, please.
Thank you very much for that. Around the subject of us being organically or inherently truthful, does that link in with the fact that we have the spirit of Allah? Therefore, all the good traits of Allah, whether that's generosity, kindness, truthfulness, are in our
Definitely.
So. If that's the case, then why is it that we are also inclined to sin as well? Perhaps you can shed some light.
Yeah. Because God, He Himself says, Inna nafsa ammarata bisu. Naturally, nafs, not the ruh. The ruh, like as you said, it has that sort of power of all goodness, which is the energy, which is the power that making us function. But you have the nafs. Nafs by nature is something that it commands towards evil. Right? That's why you have Munajat-e-Shaqeen of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. When Imam Sajjad is complaining, Ilahi ashku ilayka nafs. Oh Allah, I complain you of my nafs. Why? Because my nafs commands to do evil. It's natural. Nafs like entertainment, nafs likes enjoyment, nafs like to be relaxed, nafs like all of these things that are negative, so to speak, that nafs likes that. It is nature, it is natural. But at the same time you have illa ma rahima rabbi. This rahima rabbi is that our spirit. This rahima rabbi is the ruh. That the mercy of God is there. So my nafs needs to pay attention to this rahima rabbi aspect. This rahmaniyat, this mercy of God. If I listen to that rahma, then I am guided. The greatest of rahma of the Lord is Imam Hussein. You cannot imagine that how merciful this wujud of Allah is. Hussein is that. You cannot imagine that how merciful this soul of Hussein is. That's why you find anything that needs to change the destiny of humanity, it is from Hussein and nowhere else. Hur, from where to where? This is an example. So the majalis of Imam Hussein, the azadari of Imam Hussein, is the place where everything will change. So that rahma rabbi, nafs is that, commands to do evil. But if that, rahima rabbi aspect is always there, if I pay attention to, as Imam Jawad alayhi salam says that, la yukmilul iman or la yakmilul iman, the iman will not become complete or the aql will not become perfect unless he pays attention to these three things. One of them is that conscious, that sound, that voice that is there telling him. One of them is the tawfiq from God. The third one is the acceptance of our error and mistake. Whoever corrects and rectifies us, we should accept. Okay, good. And then our aql will become complete. Yes. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Right. Imam, he was there all the time and he spoke the truth. He did not sort of lay low in that sense. But I think the better example would be, there's a phenomena or which they call Tawriya, where you don't really you speak the truth, but you kind of step a bit away from representing what true exactly is, if that is detrimental, to someone's life that you want to save, or a relationship. Within the Sharia, Ahkam as well, lying, not lying in that sense, but some way is allowed with husband and wife, for example, or in a relationship. You think that somehow you could bring them together, you could misrepresent some of the facts or hide some of the facts, for instance. You are allowed to do so. Now the point is, how would I discern that? I need to weigh the situation, I need to pay attention to, I need to seek advice there, who have much more of a wisdom, who have some sort of hikmat. Because sometime, or many a times I would say, I would, try to look at my faide, what is beneficial for me, and then keeping that in mind, my honor in mind, then I say, okay, this is what it is, for example, which is not really. I came late, for example. It was my mistake because I was busy chatting, But I would say that, you know what, I had a interview. Although I had an interview in the afternoon, some student came. So I'm in my mind saying that, okay, but Baba, I'm late because your interview was in the afternoon, but I'm just not I'm giving a partial truth. So, well, for what? Just to save my honor, I should be careful in that. So it will affect my soul, right? So I should be truthful. I said, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. This is what happened or whatever. So what I'm trying to give you is that we have to be very careful in utilizing these, leeways or these loopholes which are given by the Sharia in order for a purpose. And to understand that, when to use it, requires hikmat, requires that wisdom, yeah. I hope that, yeah. Bismillah. Alaikum assalam.
Just on this verse that we discussed, the Arabic says sadida.
Yeah.
Truthful.
Mm-hmm,
What is
mm-hmm.
the difference between sidq and sadida? Is there a difference?
No, sadid is a refined sort of truth. It's another way, it's a synonym to haq or truth. Yeah, similar to that. Yeah. Yes, alaikum salam. Right. Right. Yes, there are darajat, obviously, of that truthful nature. There's levels of being truthful as well. A person is known as truthful, recognized as truthful, is with the truthful as well. But at the same time, you have Abul Fazl, where Sayyid Qazi Tabatabai says, Kaaba awliya. Abul Fazl is known as the Kaaba of the awliya. They circumvent. He is also Sadiq. Then you have other ashab as well, right? So there are different levels of this truthful nature of a person. Like for example, I'm thankful to someone, and I'm thankful to him because it is in the nature of man to thank him. But at the same, I'm being truthful. It is very good quality. But I'm being thankful to him because if I am not thankful to him, I'm not thankful to God. It's a bit of a different level of truthfulness. Now, I'm thankful to him, but still there exists a duality for me, that it is him and the good work that he has done. I should be thankful to him the same way I should be thankful to God. Right? So that's honor. Al-izzatu lillah wa li rasulih wa lil mu'mineen. Honor is that I'm giving to a mu'min, for example. That honor that I'm giving to a mu'min, yes, not pure, it shouldn't be purely based on what favor he has done to me, but all mu'mineen as well. In every step and every place, for all mu'mineen, I should be truthful, that I'm giving honor in the same. So there are darajat of being truthful as well. After reaching, just like how, a person becomes a Muslim by saying La ilaha illallah, but this La ilaha illallah needs to be La ilaha illallah. La mu'assara fil wujud illallah. There is no God but God, and that's it. Wa huwa ma'akum aynama kuntum. Right? Still, if it's not happening to me, aynama tuwallu fasamma wajhullah, then that means still I'm on a lower level. So I should reach to a point where there should be, I see nothing but truth. And that is aynama tuwallu fasamma wajhullah. Yeah.
So in that instance, if a brother brings you maybe a cup of tea, and maybe that cup of tea in truth is not the greatest cup of tea, do you thank them
I love my cup of tea, and especially the Khoja tea. I can't take any other tea. Yeah. No. Yes, go ahead. So you can't complain about that?
No, so do you, just taking.
Yes, I mean you would see these type of riwayat and hadiths that, for example, somebody have invited you, given you food, you don't really like it, don't overwhelmingly praise it just for the sake of praising it. So that's not being truthful. But at the same time, you have to keep the heart, of your wife. I hope this is not recorded, So you have to somehow, basically, no, just kidding. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Sorry, one quick announcement before you guys leave. There's a book Sheikh Hamid al-Hilli has released called The Arba'in Walk, especially useful for those who are planning to visit the shrines in Arba'in, inshallah. It is on sale downstairs today at the price of £7 and can be found at the desk. So if anyone wants to purchase that, it will be on sale today.
Ahsant. Thank you very much. Inshallah. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Yalla, assalamu alaikum, sister. Yes, bismillah. Yeah, sure.
I was just not ready to
No, go ahead.
It's regarding my saving. It's something that's always